how to make your gym membership or your exercise routine more meaningful.
Oh my God.
Why do most people not need to go to the gym? Like, I think the gym is a great place for a lot of people. It does a lot of good things, but I think the gym is not for everyone. Like, I haven't had a gym membership for years, and when I did have a gym membership, I wasn't really going all the time. And I feel like most people have that experience, right? Most people sign up for the gym, or they, at the beginning of the year, they make these New Year's resolutions, they set goals, they start going to the gym, and they probably do really well for the first few weeks or the first couple months. And then they just kind of taper off and they stop going. And I feel like most people kind of have that experience, right? Now, I know there's other people that love going to the gym and they go religiously. They're there all the time. Maybe they have a friend that they go with, and I think that's just kind of a separate group of people. But I would say most people in general just have a hard time going to the gym. And the reason for that, I think, is because the gym is not really that meaningful for them. Now, there are like a ton of benefits of having a gym membership and going to the gym regularly. But the problem is most people don't go regularly. And the benefits are just like, you're going to look better, right? You're going to be healthier. You're going to feel better. You're going to be more energized for the day. A lot of people have these expectations that they're going to meet people. They're going to be socializing more. And it just kind of gets them out of the house. And then the gym also just has way better equipment and resources that they can't get at home or in their community or whatever. It just has like so much more for what a lot of people need. Now, the reality is most people are just not consistently going to the gym, socializing, or really going there to meet people. And most people are just using the treadmill or the stair stepper or just like using like one or two pieces of equipment and the same type of equipment that they could just do at home, right? So a lot of people just go to the gym to use the treadmill and they could just run down the street and get the exact same activity performance from just running. You could go hiking or in your neighborhood, or you could just go for a walk and you might get that same activity level that you got from going to the gym. So there's this huge disconnect, right, from what we expect from the gym and what really happens. And in essence, I think that most people are just wasting a lot of money and we're not really getting a lot out of the gym. Now, we know there's like a million studies on the benefits of exercise. It just makes us feel better when we go to the gym. When we're exercising regular, it can increase our dopamine receptors. It can kind of reduce depression overall. It's good for our cardio health. It improves our self-image. It makes us more confident. I could go on forever. Now, what about meaningful exercise? How does meaningful exercise improve our health? So meaningful exercise, I'm going to say it's the same as going to the gym, right? You get all the same benefits, but you also are going to be able to perform that activity a whole lot longer. And you're like wondering like, what is meaningful exercise? Meaningful exercise is just doing an exercise or an activity like with a purpose. Okay, so this is going to be like where sports come in, or like an activity that you're actually interested in comes in. It could be going to the gym for some people, or maybe like going to the gym with a friend, because the activity suddenly becomes more meaningful when you have someone with you, when you guys both share the same goal, or maybe like you're socializing together. That's a meaningful activity. If you're playing softball, if you're playing tennis, if you're playing basketball, those are like high endurance, really good, meaningful activities. And then for strengthening, like you could go rock climbing. That's super meaningful exercise that you could do. And then it's also meaningful because you have a second person usually, like you have a belayer, so that can be helpful. So it's also swimming, it's riding a bike, it's hiking or backpacking. Meaningful exercise can take the place of aerobic exercise like running, or anaerobic like rock climbing, where you are doing strengthening. And another really good thing about meaningful exercise is you're not just targeting one muscle group. Like if you're doing bicep curls, you're just mainly targeting the biceps. If you're rock climbing, like you're targeting a whole lot of different muscle groups all at once. So you're doing your back, you're doing your arms, you're doing your hamstrings, your legs. You're getting so much more because it's more of a functional activity. And there are activities that you can do at the gym to kind of replicate this. But the easiest way to do it is to just do a more meaningful activity where you get the same results from it. So what are the benefits of meaningful exercise? You're going to be working harder and longer in most cases. Meaningful exercise is usually more easy to be motivated because the activity is meaningful to you. It's more enjoyable and fulfilling, and you're working multiple muscle groups rather than one or two muscle groups. Now, what are the cons of meaningful exercise? So normally you're going to need like a second person. You're also like it's not always open, right? So you can't always go hiking. You can't always go swimming. Like a lot of times you go to these places that are just closed, whereas if you go to a gym, like they're open all the time. So that is kind of the con. Like it's harder to plan and to schedule your meaningful exercise. And then meaningful exercise is not weather resistant, right? So if there's a storm coming through, you're probably not going to go running. You'll have to like stay at home and like do jumping jacks or something different. Like you can't do that same activity like hiking or swimming or playing basketball because sometimes weather is an issue. Now, what are the benefits of going to the gym? Targeting a single muscle group actually can be really helpful, especially for like athletes that need to like work on one muscle group. Maybe they just want to target a muscle group to improve their fitness at whatever sport they're doing. So if you're a baseball player, you want to go to the gym and focus on like maybe just the shoulder so you can get better at throwing or something. Like that's just an example. Another benefit of the gym is it's always open. You don't have to worry about that. And it's weather resistant. If it rains, it's not a big deal. You can still drive to the gym and you're not going to get wet. Now, what are the cons of going to the gym? So first of all, it's just expensive. You have to pay for that yearly membership. Not everyone can afford that to continue with that membership going forward, and just paying monthly hundreds of dollars every month or so to maintain that membership. Another con of the gym is just it's intimidating. And I think that's like especially for people that don't normally go to the gym or haven't been in a long time. It's just a little bit more intimidating when you're, running on the treadmill or lifting weights and someone next to you is like twice your size and ripped. And I don't know, that's how it is in my case. You're seeing a lot of people that are in much better shape than you, and sometimes that makes it more intimidating to go. And then the last con is it's just easy to give up. That's the con of going to the gym. It's just you're eventually going to give up. You're going to stop going. You're going to continue paying for your membership, which I feel like can be really frustrating. Now, I'm not completely bashing on the gym. I think the gym can be really beneficial, especially for people like athletes where you have to where I said earlier, target like a certain muscle group for that activity. And I think we can kind of take that mindset and use it for meaningful activities. And let me explain this for a second. So say there's like a meaningful activity you want to do. You want to go on a hike, right? Maybe you set this up months in advance. I'm going to summit this peak, or I'm going to learn how to surf, or I'm going to learn how to do an activity that's really meaningful. Maybe you're going to go on a long trip and you just don't want to be fatigued. Like you're going to be traveling all around and you want to be in more shape for that trip. Or maybe you're going on a backpacking trip and you want to get in shape so you can be able to hike some mountains. What you can do is you can start by preparing for that activity by going to the gym, okay? And so you can do this at home or you can do this at the gym, and you can start targeting the muscle groups that are going to be most important for that activity. So if you want to like get better at surfing, you're going to start lifting, you're going to work on your arms, you're going to work on your back muscles. If you want to get better at hiking and be able to not get fatigued and have all the soreness and pain when you're hiking up trails, like that's something you can totally work on, just your legs, going to the gym every week and targeting your muscle groups and your hamstrings and your glutes, just really working out your legs. And so I think the gym is important, but if we think about like the meaningful activity that we want to prepare for and put that as our main goal, right? So that's our long-term goal. We want to be able to do this meaningful activity, and that's going to be different for everyone. But I would say like think of a meaningful activity, something that you really want to be able to do, and then go to the gym to get better at that activity. So if I go backpacking next month, I just want to make sure that my legs I'm going to have the stamina to be able to go. I want to make sure that I'm stretching regularly. And then I also want to make sure I have some sort of upper body endurance because I'm going to be carrying like a lot of weight with like a backpack. And so I want to probably work on my back a little bit so it doesn't get so sore, like lifting it for hours every day. So that's the activity that I'm like working towards. And then in the meantime, I'm going to be like actually not going to the gym because I just don't really care to go to the gym. It's not a really meaningful place for me. So instead, I would rather like do trail running and just training my body to kind of get used to that setting. And there's lots of different ways that you can do this. But I think the most important thing is to set a goal for a meaningful activity. And Ideally, you don't want it to be like once every 3 months. That's a good starting point. Like set up a meaningful activity every 3 months. But I think the goal is at least every month, set up something really meaningful to you. And then I would say once a week, try to target those muscle groups in like one meaningful activity. So like maybe you go like 3 times a week to the gym and then one day a week go trail running or rock climbing or whatever to be able to prepare for that activity. So I know this doesn't work for everyone, but I think that's just a little bit more motivating and encouraging. And I think it's just going to be a whole lot better in the long term for keeping a consistent routine to exercise daily. And the single most important part of this is to include a person with you when you do these activities. So don't do this solo. You can, but the best way to do this is to have someone with you. It's just going to be so much easier and more meaningful if you're doing this with someone rather than doing it on your own. And if you can't do it with someone, like find the person that you're going to do this activity with in the long term. Like say you're going to go on a hike with someone, maybe they live in another state, like FaceTime them, share like what you did with them. And that way, you're not only hyping you up for this activity, you're hyping them up as well. And that way, you're both kind of on the same page and can kind of start this routine together. And then get on the same page with just planning events with another person to do like a meaningful activity like once every month or once every couple months. So you can start consistently exercising more and just having a more healthy body. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe. Do you think there's ways that you can improve your health through meaningful activities? Do you think that's important? Share your thoughts. I want to hear them below, and I'll see you in the next one, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.